Thanks for joining us on another episode of The Grind. Here's your host, JB.
Hey, welcome to another episode of The Breakdown. We've got Head Coach JohnMark Bentley that's going to join us here in just a minute. But before he does, I'm going to try to get the Facebook feed back up. I'm not sure what happened there, but had a little bit of a technical difficulty getting things rolling from Facebook, which isn't unusual when you're trying to stream to so many different platforms. It's definitely bound to happen, but we'll see if we can get the stream back up on Facebook. But while I'm working on that, go ahead and share us, like us, subscribe to us, give us a retweet, whatever it may be. Go check us out on Rockfin. We're over there again tonight as well. It'll be a good time. Looking forward to talking to Coach. Obviously, those guys had a great weekend this past weekend with Chattanooga in town and Presbyterian. Chattanooga was a dogfight. That was a great duel to be there and be a part of. Ended up pulling out there with the heavyweight class again. Seems to be the theme here lately. So it was a great weekend. We'll also talk to him about the battles with the military institutions or academies. He's up at VMI, getting ready to take on VMI and the Citadel. He'll be, I'm sure, seeing Coach LeBlanc up there. But without further ado, let's go check in with Coach. He's not in the Bentley house tonight. Looks like he might be in a hotel room somewhere. Coach, how's it going?
It's going well, Jeremy. Appreciate you having me. Sorry it's taken me a little bit to get up here and be able to get on this tonight, but we just got to Lexington, Virginia. Just got checked in our hotel. So.
Yeah, no need to apologize, Coach. I'm still trying to get caught up on our end, so so don't worry too much about that. How was the trip up? Everything work out okay with the travels? I know the travel plan was changed a little bit because of the bad weather that's slated to come in again tonight. But you guys have a good trip up?
Yeah, everything went smooth. About 3.5 hours. Brought a couple of 3 vans up, and we were slated to leave early tomorrow morning, but with everything that's going on with the weather forecast for back home, we just felt it would be in our best interest to try to get out this evening before the weather got bad.
Very nice. Yeah, that's good to get up there and get on the road and get that taken care of before things get too bad. How's the team and how's the staff feeling after last week, Chattanooga and Presbyterian? That was a pretty big weekend.
Yeah, it was good to get 2 wins. Obviously at home and varsity gym, and then Chattanooga is always a big rival for us. So, anytime we can get a victory over them, it just makes it a little bit sweeter. But, we just right back to work this week. No time to start thinking about last weekend. We got 2 big matches coming up tomorrow. So our guys went right back to work. Have had a great attitude, great discipline this week in our training, and hopefully we're going to put together some good performances tomorrow.
Coach, that Chattanooga match, like you said, they're a pretty big rival. A few years back, they were the Campbell rivalry that we have with Campbell now, always for 1 and 2, it seems like, in the conference. But just several years back, that was Chattanooga. That was kind of that rivalry between us and them for the top SoCon spot. Those guys, from what I could tell, they didn't have a lot of notoriety and recognition within their starting lineup. They had one guy that was ranked, if I recall, 2 guys actually that were ranked. But they hung in there, man. Those guys were in the fight all the way to the end, and I think that goes to speak of that rivalry. Those guys came to town ready to fight, knew what they were going to get when they walked into varsity gym.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think for them it was a little bit of added motivation. They wanted to beat us extremely bad, and they were 4-0 in the Southern Conference, and so they they felt like that they were trying to, stay in a share for that first place. So they had a lot to wrestle for. I really felt like they came out, really wrestling hard and, really wanted to try to, knock us off. And I thought we started a little bit slow, maybe in those first three matches. But, after that, I thought we bounced back pretty well and, took care of business. So it was a good match, very competitive. They got a lot of good wrestlers. We've got a lot of good wrestlers. And so there was some really good matches on Sunday.
Yeah, on paper, the first match with Russell and Fabian, those guys have obviously Fabian is known throughout the program. He's always a kid that gives us a tough fight. On paper, Russell upset him. I know that was a match that Russell, I'm sure, knew he had going into it, but started out pretty big. But those very next two matches, kind of as an App fan in Varsity Gym, it was a little tough to swallow those following two matches, especially seeing Sean go down the way he did. That was another surprise there. But brought it back, had some great turnouts, some hard fought matches in there. It was great to see Cody in there. Good to see him in there right there at the fight and all the way through on that one. That was a close one for him as well, and ended up squeaking that one out. So it was good to see Cody Bond get that win. There's those wrestlers that we've talked about and have mentioned every once in a while, but Cody Bond is definitely one of those guys that if you keep an eye on him, I think he's going to make bring some attention to himself, because he's much improved over what he was, and it was great to see Cody get that win out on Sunday.
Yeah, definitely. Cody Bond's he's really stepped up for us big this year so far. I mean, he's been a very pleasant surprise in our lineup. I mean, we knew earlier in the year we knew that there was a chance he could be our starter, but really didn't know how he would stack up in the conference. And even in some of our non-conference duels, I mean, he has been very, very competitive. He's got an outstanding record this year, and I really think he's actually confidence-wise probably jumping levels each and every week. Maybe even more so than some of the other guys, but just because this is his first year of having that experience of being in our lineup and wrestling under pressure and wrestling in all those matches. And there's no doubt about it, when you get put in the fire, it makes you a lot better. And so I think he's benefiting from that.
Yeah, it was good to see him catch that win. Coach, we rolled into Presbyterian. Presbyterians, I don't know what's going on with those guys lately. They've been hit and miss most of the season so far, but man, the team brought it there even after a tough fight with Chattanooga. Team definitely brought it together and gave them another shutout, 54-0 with Presbyterian. 5 falls, a technical fall, another fall, and another technical fall in the extra matches. So that had to be exciting to end the week with that kind of a showing.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, every time we wrestle, we talk to our guys about trying to score a lot of points and being exciting to watch and continue to build our style of wrestling and build our fan base. And I thought our guys really did a great job of that during that match. I mean, they really, really were, scoring a lot of points and being aggressive. And that's kind of what we want to see from our wrestlers.
Yeah, and Cody, if you go back and watch it, it's on Twitter. I've got a little gift of his fall there. He literally, I don't know what the move was you call it, but he literally flipped the guy up with his hip and slammed it into the mat and gave him a fall right there on the edge of the mat. Ended up, Cody's weekend was a big weekend. He took SoCon Wrestler of the Year, or Wrestler of the Week this week. So obviously got some attention with winning over Fabian in that fall there with Presbyterian. So good stuff from Cody. Not surprising at all for me to see him get that, but started off that duel with a big fall, and the falls just kept coming. If you wasn't there, if you haven't seen it, that is a duel that was really exciting to watch as an App fan, because they were pouring on the points, and definitely plenty of falls to be a part of in that duel.
Yeah, absolutely. And, that's kind of what we discussed a lot this week, is that we've got to be the aggressor. in all of our matches. Typically when we're aggressive, we find a lot of success. In a couple of those early matches in the Chattanooga match that we lost in that duel, I didn't feel like we were aggressive enough. At 33 and 41, I felt like we were a little bit too conservative and maybe, we're a little bit too cautious. We really didn't get to our offense in either one of those matches. And I think that's what ultimately cost us those two matches. So, we got to learn from that and, be better the next time we see those guys.
Yeah, we've seen a new name in the lineup at the 133 with Kellison. Man, he looked pretty good out there. He definitely walked away with a decision, scored up some points, especially for not being in the lineup on a regular basis. But that was interesting to see a new name in the lineup there. Is everything all right with Carter?
Yeah. I mean, we've just, Kellison's a really good wrestler. And he's nipping on Sean's heels. He's been making weight each and every weekend. So I wanted to try to get him a match and get him in our lineup and just kind of see how he looked out there in front of, in the dual meet setting. And, it wasn't, nothing's wrong with Sean. Sean's good. He's had a good week of training as well. But, we just want to kind of get Kellis in that match and kind of see how he looked there.
Yeah, good. I tell you, another kid that's taken me by surprise is Burrito. Man, that kid, Burrito, poured it on this match. That was an impressive fall to see Burrito secure that win that way.
Yeah. Burritos. I think I'm not really that surprised because I've seen Anthony for the last couple of years, his development and how consistent he's been with the amount of work he's put in. He put in a tremendous amount of work last summer. He was at my house a lot. And so I think that says a lot for his commitment to being the guy. And so I think he's, he may be surprised for some people, but I always knew that he was capable of that. And to be honest with you, last year, there was moments where we could have went either way with starting him or Brad Irwin. So, yeah,
definitely good to see him catch a fall. That kind of kept the ball rolling for us. And then obviously John, I mean, that I told John the other day, I said, man, if I found out one thing about you, it's you're going to tilt somebody. It doesn't matter who he wrestles. He's going to score some points on a tilt just about every time I've seen him wrestle this season. And that duel or that match against Presbyterian was no different. He definitely brought it on and ended up scoring a fall off of one of his tilts. So John's pouring it on for sure.
Yeah, John's really good on top. I mean, that's obviously one of his favorite positions. So there's a lot of different ways he can score on top. And, as you mentioned, obviously tilts are something he's really good at.
Yep. And Cody come up with another one, a major decision. That was pretty cool to see him get into those bonus points. And if I'm not mistaken, I think I saw Cody execute or attempt a tilt or two in that match as well. So I was wondering, is Cody and John, are those guys partners? Do they spend a lot of time on the mat together in the wrestling room?
Yeah, they wrestle each other. We've got a ton of workout partners for those middleweights. Obviously we got a couple of coaches they can all wrestle with. Him, John, and Will Formato all work out with each other, quite frequently. And we've actually got a couple of pretty good freshmen that are getting in the mix there as well. We just, that's the one thing about the middle of our lineup, and I think that's why those guys are growing and getting better, is there's just a lot of workout partner options for them. So.
Yeah, and that's good. Obviously, as you said, those freshmen, those lower classmen, the freshmen in that weight class, I'm sure getting beat up on a regular basis in that room and learning a lot. Will Formato, coach, that kid is, I think every time I see him on the mat, he gets sharper. There's just something about him that he gets a little bit more of an edge from the week before, and he is looking really, really good. So good. Will Formato was Wrestler of the Month for the SoCon. That says a lot because everything's piled into 1 month. So there's not much more that you can get outside of the SoCon and the national tournament. So that says a lot because there's been a lot of competition that's happened in this first month.
Well, I think that's just a testament to how committed he is to the sport. He's put a ton of time into training. A ton of time into his diet, his lifting, his conditioning. He's just a student of the sport. He loves it. And I'll be honest with you, and I think Coach Miller and I, have talked about this. Obviously, both of us work out with Will quite a bit, and honestly, I don't even know that as a fan you've seen his best stuff yet. Like I'm telling you,
Yes.
he is tough. Like
Nice.
he is growing and getting better, and I still think he's got a lot left that hasn't even kind of been you haven't seen yet.
That's awesome. That's good to hear because there's a lot of wrestling still left. We've got the SoCon and then the NCAA that's coming up really quickly. Obviously, it'll be a little bit of a break, and we'll talk about that at the end of the show. But Thomas Flitz walked away with a fall, right back onto his winning ways. Great to see that. Julian and Mason, and then brought out Mike. Man, Mike came out in this one. He was a little bit fired up in the beginning of this match, and ended up taking a fall from, he got a fall against Presbyterian with that blast double that everybody was calling for in the stands. If there's one thing that Mike is known for, it's his blast double. He's going to try to get a takedown off of that at least once or twice. And great to see Mike get that fall. Obviously ended up with Caleb and Tristan both doing very well with a fall and a tech fall in the extra matches. So great weekend for the team, Coach. What is anything else you want to say about last weekend before we change focus and talk about tomorrow's competition?
No, not really. I mean, we were happy with last weekend, but after Sunday evening, we've moved on, and now our focus is on VMI and the Citadel. And we've that's really got to be our focus. I mean, we can't dwell on the past. We can't look too far ahead of us. We just got to take it one day at a time. And our next competition are against those two teams, and they're going to have some guys that are going to want to fight us pretty hard, and see if they can knock a couple of our guys off. And so we've got to be ready to go and consistent in our preparation and our commitment to competing tomorrow.
Yeah, Coach. So you're stepping into the battle against the military institutions. That's going to be an interesting day for the team and those teams up there. In that, what time does the action start, and where can fans watch it? Has that been released yet?
Yeah. So our first duel will be at 3:30 p.m. against VMI. It can be streamed on ESPN Plus. And then immediately following that duel, we'll roll right into a duel against the Citadel, which will start at 5:15.
Very nice. Looking forward to catching that action. You'll be across the map from Coach LeBlanc. I'm going to have to shoot him a text here in a little bit and let him know. Beat VMI, but that's about the extent of it.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because we pulled in and they're staying at the same hotel we are, and we're like, man, what are the chances?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's good. It's been good to see Coach down there. I know he's struggling with the team and trying to rebuild and get back on their feet, but it's good to see Coach in that position, to be honest with you, and know that he's come from the program and has got a great opportunity. So definitely send our well wishes to him, because he's a big part of us getting off the ground here at the Grind. Coach, it's going to be a big day for wrestling tomorrow. That's going to be the end of the SoCon regular season. What do we have to look forward to after tomorrow's competition? Not that we're looking forward or looking past tomorrow, but just so the fans know, what's kind of the timeline from here on out?
Yeah, so that's it for our regular season. I mean, we've got two important matches tomorrow against VMI and the Citadel. And then the last 3 weeks leading up to the Southern Conference Tournament, we'll be fine-tuning our training, going through our last training cycle and prep for Southern Conference Tournament, just trying to make sure our guys are healthy and, prepared to wrestle in that tournament. I mean, typically we wouldn't have that long of a layoff. But with all the COVID restrictions, we just are trying to minimize the chances that someone is not able to wrestle in the conference tournament. A big part of the battle this year is just making sure you get to the tournament,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we've done a good job, knock on wood, so far. And I think the SoCon in general would probably say the same thing. Hasn't been a lot of cancellations. I don't know that I've heard of any individuals that haven't been able to make trips because of it, but it's definitely been good so far. Good to see the teams really full and bring their best lineups to the mat and to be able to have that competition. So looking forward to that. Coach, it's the 28th back here in Boone, correct?
Yep, it's in Boone. That's right.
Yeah, if you haven't, I'm not sure what's going on with that situation, whether they'll have attendees or not, but I will tell you, just being able to watch it, I'm sure they'll make sure it's streamed at some point and somehow, but make sure you tune into that or there to be a part of that. That is a great competition. A lot of very high caliber wrestlers, all from the SoCon right here in Boone. And there'll be some kids in there that'll walk away as All-Americans this season for sure. So great to see it. Great action, great competition there on the mat. Coach, after we do the SoCon tournament, what's the NCAA tournament looking like now? What's the time frame? Have they said anything more? Are they having it? They postponing it? What's the word on the street with that?
I mean, as of right now, the tournament is still on. I think it's like 17th, 18th, 19th of March. I don't know if those dates are exactly right, but it's sometime around that time frame. Be about 2.5 weeks after the Southern Conference tournament. And it's supposed to be in St. Louis. I know there's already preliminary talk about some of the protocols that'll be in place. Fans, I think, might be minimal, maybe more limited to parents and that kind of thing. And I think there's going to be some pretty strict protocols as far as getting out there 4 or 5 days early, testing protocols before you can enter the facility. And I think from everything I'm hearing, they're going to test the student athletes every day at the tournament. So.
Yeah, that's going to be brutal, but it's going to be good to see what guys we get to take out there. That'll be for sure. Got to get past VMI and Citadel tomorrow. That's the focus. Get past the SoCon conference tournament, and then our focus will be on that national tournament. Coach, appreciate your time tonight, man. Let the team know we'll be pulling for them, and I'll definitely be watching from Boone at some point, some means tomorrow for sure. Any parting shots, any last words before we let you go here?
No, just a big day tomorrow. We got to get our guys ready to go.
All right, Coach. Appreciate you, man. Good luck tomorrow, and safe travels back to Boone.
All right, thank you.
Another great episode, another great conversation with Coach JohnMark Bentley. As you heard, Cody Russell, SoCon Wrestler of the Week, and Will Formato, SoCon Wrestler of the Month. That says a lot. Seeing an App State wrestler get that recognition with the season that we've had and the shortened season we had. Appreciate you tuning in. Check us out on Rockfin. Go over there and pop in and follow us there. You can follow us on there. It doesn't cost anything to follow us, but if you want to watch any of the premium content, go over there and check it out. Go check out the Presbyterian duel that we had. A lot of falls, a lot of great action, a lot of great commentary from Terrell and Sava on that one. So go check it out. Appreciate you being a part of tonight, and go App.
This has been a production by Yosef Media.